SAS-1 off, SAS-2 trim, FPS and boost switches push on.
On.
Flight controls, check first aircraft flight of the day.
Okay, detail procedure. Friction off, center, boost off, please. And got our light, master caution, reset. Gonna go first stage. Got our light, master caution, reset. Okay, gonna go sec. Look for any restriction bindings. Feedback, plane chatter.
I remember flying along thinking, well, what happens if the engine fails? Can I survive this crash? Would I survive a jump? There's things going through your mind. You're looking around, what would I do in this situation, or how could I survive if something happens? Nobody wants to die. We had H-23s, we had UH-1Bs, Sikorsky H-19, UH-1C, UH-1Ds, CH-47, the Chinook scope, gunships. We had a frog that looked like it with the nose on it. How could I film me firing the gun with the? 'Cause I'm right-handed, so I'd have to do. Have to be looking down the camera somehow. Machine gun here.
Machine gun where?
Right here in this hand. I got the trigger. We had the same trigger like this. A guard in your hands on the handle, so you could hold it like this. Of course, so then I'm firing the gun and shooting the camera. Mm-hmm. Or maybe I just stuck them both together and down the line, it went beep.
So you wouldn't have it up to your eye then?
I don't know. When I do it, we go up flying, I'd be firing, trying to take pictures at the same time. It depended on what was going on. If I wasn't firing, I'd be just shooting movies.
Did you watch the movies in Vietnam?
Yeah, I bought the projector over there too, so we did watch them with the guys over in Vietnam.
When you brought them home, you watched them too?
Only really in Vietnam.
Did you shoot any films when you came back?
No, not really. I only shot one more film when I went to Ocean City. Haven't used it since.
You took more pictures in Vietnam than you did when you came home.
Yeah. I didn't even own a camera. I don't think I really took any pictures from almost 20 years.
And you took so many pictures when you were there.
Well, things were happening.
Do you think you were looking for anything specific?
Well, I think it was maybe reminiscing and show people what it was like over there. I made a tape to my first mission where when we were dropping troops off the microphone set. I stuck a mouth thing in my ear helmet. Boy, did I hurt my ear. You hear the aircraft start, chalk 1, chalk 2, chalk 3. And we hear us flying through the air. All of a sudden we're coming in, all of a sudden you hear the machine guns going off. All of a sudden the pilot is saying, "Look, did you see that ship, see that rocket go right through the door? Hell, man, that's war, man, that's war."
Do you think there's anything particular about taking pictures while in combat?
I think in combat, I think you're trying to share the experience. You're taking pictures, you're trying to capture what you're going through. Maybe that was one of the reasons I got it, to see what actually was happening. A lot of times when you were actually in combat, you probably didn't have time to take pictures. Once we started really getting hot and heavy, then I just put the camera down. You couldn't see what was going around you. Taking pictures over there, nothing was planned. When you usually take pictures around now, you usually have time to set up. You usually don't do instant shots. You're looking around, oh, that looks nice, you have time, and you see something coming, but over in combat, you don't know when it's going to happen. We just kept shooting and shooting and shooting. Actually, now I wish I took a lot more pictures. You think you're going to remember them. I know I looked at them when they first came back, when I got them back over in Vietnam. So I should have wrote notes on them. I also wish I kept a diary on it, too, when I took them. Notebook, which... I wish I took more pictures of individuals than I did. A lot of these guys, if you said, well, who's Maddox, or who's Wilkerson, or who's this, who's that, who's Mr. Hutch? Well, he's just my pilot. Well, here's a picture of my pilot. Well, then you say, well, what kind of guy was he? Well, here's 3 pictures of my pilot. You tell me what kind of... Well, he seemed, I guess he likes to run around nude. Yeah, this one is from a Monyard village. So this is actually a native of Vietnam. Somehow a white phosphorus bomb went out and the kids got burnt. They had 3rd-degree burns on their arms and around their body. The flesh was almost melted off. We're treating the mother and the kids here. She had it all over her back. U.S. Army Special Forces, weapons, equipment, and casualties, 3 days in November of '66. 25 of us killed. We had more wounded than they did. Ooh, Playboy. Imagine that, they're all 60 years old now. Another shot of, oh, look at that ugly guy. Moi. Yeah, this is a Gatling gun. Side shot of a Gatling gun.
Did you run one of those?
Yeah, this is on one of my gunships. This is probably one of mine at the time.
Why did you switch from the troop carriers to the guns?
Actually, maybe I was a little wild there. They kind of, maybe, they figured that maybe my mentality was more of a gun slinger than a slick guy.
Is there something particular about going to war that changes people?
Probably the ugliness of it, the death in it, loss of life, and some of it you cause. One day there's the possibility you're going to die, you got to realize that. So you have to accept, you have to have it in your back of your mind, even though you figure you're John Wayne or an attitude like that. No matter what happens, you're going to be fine, it's going to be the other guy. Things happen that, you say hi, you say good morning to a buddy, and then 2 hours later, you're saying a permanent goodbye to him. You don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I actually figure you're lucky. All the things we went, all the places we did. Doing missions up in out of Dak To, or even up in Dong Ha. Flying, doing. Sometimes you wonder when your turn. If your turn comes, it comes. So. Actually, even though they were our buddies there, we still kept a, how would you say that? They were great guys, loved them all. We died for them, but we still kept our lives weren't guaranteed because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Did any of the guys you knew ever come visit you?
No.
Did you write to them afterwards?
No, not really. Nope. Isn't that weird? We just lost track. It took me over 20 years just to even talk about Vietnam for the first time. And then I still, I go on the internet, I see the guys, I just haven't got, to really get into and discuss old times. Wow, usually we tell stories with other vets, because some of them they would understand more than, because if you experience some of this stuff, you'd be, maybe, understand it, or maybe we're just saying that maybe all the stuff we did we're not super proud of either. War brings out the worst in you. You try to be a good, like I said, when I remember going over there, I'm going to be like Hopalong Cassidy or John Wayne, wear a white hat. Boy, it didn't take long to get gray because you got so many gray areas. Especially like if you're doing an assault on a village or something. Now, is the person in the rice paddy, is that a guy with a hoe, or is that a trooper with a rifle on the hoe? So what do? Do you shoot or wait? You make a choice real quick, like, will he affect me, or is he too close? And do you take the chance? When you're up there firing a machine gun, it's hard to tell who you're shooting at. It all depends on what the mission is. If you're prepping an LZ, there's no choice. You just start shooting.
What's an LZ?
Landing zone. That's when the troops are coming in. Because otherwise, if you don't prep it, the guys in there might be waiting. So the fast movers, the planes come in, and you come in, you lay down rockets and machine gun fire, and the troops come in. So if you don't do your job, somebody could get hurt or killed. So right there,
Why didn't you re-enlist again?
Before I left the Army, before I was being discharged, my rotor head had frozen in flight. The sand had gotten into the blade grip and froze, so came probably within 5 minutes of dying there. So when we landed, the whole rotor head was coming apart. So there wasn't much longer until the whole thing let go. The whole blade froze up in the flight in the air. And I decided, I think I had 5 or 7 days left, and I decided, well, maybe it's time to, I think maybe somebody's saying time to change for a while. I'm not sure who made this letter up, if we all got together. This is the notice of return. This is what we sent when we came home to all the parents. Notice of return. Very soon, the above member of the 117th Assault Helicopter Company will be in your midst again. Dehydrated and demoralized, he will emerge from a primitive world that tried to take his place as a human being. In making your preparations to welcome him back into civilized society, you must make a few allowances for the crude environment that has been his miserable existence. In other words, he will be vulgar, uncouth, and suffering from symptoms of nervousness and shaking constantly. Your only remedy is to rush to the nearest hospital and get him a pretty nurse and constantly keep her on hand. Therefore, keep calm and cool. If he hides when a child points his cap pistol at him and says, "Bang, you're dead." That's as far as we got. There's got to be more, but I don't know where it is. I have to keep looking for it.
How do soldiers feel different when they come back?
Still leery of people. Who do you trust? Because like over there, you didn't know who was the enemy. maybe a little more cautious. Maybe I didn't make friends as easy because there was a possibility of losing them. Yeah, I guess when I get out of the military, I still at a loss. You know, you have to go. You know, the thing is, they give you 30 days, but you still got to pay, but you still got to go find jobs, and you try to get back in the civilian world. And there was this job posting in the paper, and that's from looking for mechanics to work in Vietnam. So I applied and got a job, and then I went back to Vietnam as a civilian. And it'd be in February of '68, just as TET was going on. I was back, yeah, within 6 months again. So I think I went back to the civilian because I was still looking for action. I don't know how else to explain that. I think I was still in a combat mode. Transitioning straight from combat and coming back to normal. I remember even backfired, I hit the dirt or look around and I still walk around with knives or something. Yeah, still in the head. Actually, if you listen to any of the stories, they're basically all the same. Something happening. All of us have been through a incident or I don't want to say trauma but where we each have to support each other. We each have to look after each other. And we've all been in situations where things have happened, and if it wasn't for our brother, who's actually somebody we might not even know, we wouldn't survive.
Do you think it's the same thing with people who go to different wars, though?
Yeah, we all come out the same, I believe. You go in with one attitude and you come out different.
Company, that's him.
Joined the Guard in August of 1981. I was out of the military 14 years. I've joined the Guard because I had experiences and they could use it. So I like the unit. It's more a friendship than actually I have in a civilian life. The Army seems to be more tightly knit. We might fire 1 million rounds in one day, depending on what was going on. And you gotta remember, every place we went was shoot 'em down zone. You have 6 gunships coming in and they're all firing, 12 Gatling guns going off at once, and you see them swing around. Well, they heading my way or not? Things I was doing, first of all, you had to be sober or straight, but the thing was that you were getting such a high off doing this stuff. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's challenging and your mind was going, and I mean, you get highs and.
That's a beautiful picture.
Coming in, yep.
I love that.
9 of them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, that's a spot back there, but it probably is 9.
That's,
yeah,
that's not good.
That's not a good picture.
Holy shit.
No. One damaged there, a helicopter. I have to see who that guy is. I wonder if that is Reeves. What's the date on this one?
May 66.
No, he's dead already. He died already. I'm not sure who that is up there. Yeah, they're getting ready to leave. You know, it's serious stuff. Yeah, when people are going. I'm not sure where they're going. Probably Iraq.
On for NG to stabilize, not to exceed 850.
How do you feel about them leaving?
Yeah. I wish I was going with them. Tell you the truth, but you know, you train for years and years and years, and then when that thing comes up, that you just want to use what you learn. What's the use of training if you never use it? You know, you'll know if you have the ability. I don't want to go to war, but I like to go with the guys. You know, in the sense that war is hell, but this old body just doesn't. You know, age and body did me in.
So would you go if you could?
Oh yeah, I'd go in a heartbeat.